Hello, our dear Grade 7 Science learners! Good morning! Welcome to our new session of fun and learning. I am Teacher Rosaly, your science teacher for today, and I am very excited to bring you today's lesson entitled, I have less, she has ample, he has more. Let us see what's in store. At the end of this episode, you are all expected to 1. Describe the saturated and unsaturated solution. Number 2. Determine how much solid solute dissolves in each volume of water. And number 3. Describe the appearance of a saturated solution. Be with me for the next 30 minutes because later on, you will have a very simple experiment to investigate the properties of saturated and unsaturated solutions. So prepare yourselves, for together we will explore the wondrous world of science. Before we proceed, let's recall the essential reminders in using this module. First, use a separate sheet in answering the exercises. Second, you should answer what I know before moving on to other activities. Third, read the instructions carefully before doing each task. Fourth, finish the task at hand before proceeding to the next. Fifth, return the module to your teacher or facilitator once you are through with it. Are you ready? Let me refresh you with our previous lessons and see if you can remember different topics and activities you had. In Module 2, you found out that a solution is formed when a solute dissolves in a solvent to form a single phase that appears uniform throughout. A solution is clear and the particles are too small that they cannot be seen by the unaided eye or without using a microscope. The particles in a solution are smaller than the pores of the filter paper or the cheesecloth, and so these can pass through the filter. In Module 3, you found out how much solute can dissolve in a given amount of solvent and found out the type of solution based on whether there is excess solute or not. Now, we will go through Module 4 by answering what I know questions. Kindly prepare your pens and use a separate answer sheet for your answers. Write only the letter of your correct answer for each question. You have 3 seconds to answer each question. Ready? Let us start. Number 1. In a salt water solution, what substance is considered the solvent? A. Salt, B. Water, C. Both are solvent, D. Neither substance is a solvent. Number 2. What substance can dissolve other substances in a solution? A. Solute, B. Mixture, C. Solvent, D. All of the above. Number 3. What is the substance that is being dissolved in a solution? A. Solute, B. Mixture, C. Solvent, D. All of the above. Number 4. Which of the following refers to the solution that contains as much solute as can dissolve at a given temperature? A. Solubility, B. Mixture, C. Solvent, D. All of the above. Number 5. Which of the following refers to the solution that contains less solute? A. Solubility. B. Dilute solution. C. Saturated solution. D. Unsaturated solution. Number 6. You are given a 40 ml solution in a beaker. You add solute to the beaker and it dissolves completely. The solution was A. Saturated, B. Unsaturated, C. Concentrated, D. Supersaturated. Number 7. Something that can be dissolved in a solution is called A. Colloid, B. Soluble, C. Solution, D. Concentration. Number 8. A substance dissolved in a solution is called A. Solute, B. Solvent, C. Solution, D. Concentration. Number 9. Jessica made a pitcher of lemonade. What can she do to dilute if she thinks it doesn't taste right? A. Add salt, B. Add sugar, C. Boil the lemonade, D. Put it in the refrigerator. Number 10. Which of the following statements describes a solution that is saturated? A. Crystals form, B. You need to stir it more, C. No additional material will dissolve in it, D. Two materials have combined to create a clear liquid. Are you done? Very good. Let us now check your answers. Number 1. In a saltwater solution, what substance is considered a solvent? Is it A. Salt, B. Water, C. Both are solvent, D. Neither substance is a solvent? What's your answer? The answer is letter A. Salt. Number 2. What substance can dissolve other substances in a solution? Is it A. Solute, B. Mixture, C. Solvent, D. All of the above? The answer? Letter C. Solvent. Number 3. What is the substance that is being dissolved in a solution? A. Solute, B. Mixture, C. Solvent, D. All of the above? The answer? A. Solute. Number 4. Which of the following refers to the solution that contains as much solute as can dissolve at a given temperature? A. Solubility, B. Mixture, C. Solvent, D. All of the above? Answer? C. Solvent. Number 5. Which of the following refers to the solution that contains less solute? A. Solubility, B. Dilute solution, C. Saturated solution, D. Unsaturated solution? The answer? Letter D. Unsaturated solution. Number 6. You are given a 40 ml solution in a beaker. You add solute to the beaker and it dissolves completely. The solution was A. Saturated, B. Unsaturated, C. Concentrated, D. Supersaturated. The answer, letter B. Unsaturated. Number 7. Something that can be dissolved in a solution is called A. Colloid, B. Soluble, C. Solution, D. Concentration. The answer, B. Soluble. Number 8. Substance dissolved in a solution is called A. Solute, B. Solvent, C. Solution, D. Concentration. The answer, A. Solute. Number 9. Jessica made a pitcher of lemonade. What can she do to dilute if she thinks it doesn't taste right? A. Add salt, B. Add sugar, C. Boil the lemonade, D. Put it in the refrigerator. The answer, letter B. Add sugar. Number 10. Which of the following statements describes a solution that is saturated? A. Crystals form, B. You need to stir it more, C. No additional material will dissolve in it, D. Two materials have combined to create a clear liquid. The answer, letter C. No additional material will dissolve in it. Did you get all the correct answers? If not, don't worry. We will learn more as we go along with our new lesson with different activities and guide questions. Before we start with our discussion, let's take a break first so that you can prepare the following materials for our experiment later. 6 teaspoons sugar, 1 cup of water, 1 measuring cup with a 1 cup capacity, 1 measuring spoon with 1/2 teaspoon capacity, 2 small clear transparent bottle, and 2 stirrers or spoon. When we come back, we will continue with our lesson in saturated and unsaturated solutions and perform some activities to help you discover and understand new concepts and skills.
The Radyo Z-eskwela program of the Division of Davao de Oro is being brought to you by Nueda Builders Construction and Supply Incorporated, Maverick Builders Incorporated, Mitch Construction and Supply, Archicons Architectural Construction and Supply, DB Construction and Supply, Hanaway Builders Corporation, Phoenix Corvada Tagum Gasoline Station, Master Construction and Supplies, Mackenzie Builders, GP&H Construction Incorporated, Metro Gear Construction Corporation, NEN Builders and Development Services Corporation, Max Mays Enterprises Incorporated, We Inc. Construction Company, Rangay Construction and Supply, East Sussex Enterprise, WM Construction, Councilor Boogie and Miss Marjorie Vertodazo, Icon Builders and Supply, and Apex Mining Company Incorporated.
Hello kids! We're back! Now, let us start remembering your lesson in grade 6 about different mixtures and their characteristics. You have done activities where you mixed a solid and a liquid, or combined 2 different liquids. In the process of mixing, you have observed that these mixtures either form homogeneous or heterogeneous mixtures. You have seen that when all parts of the mixtures have the same appearance and compositions, properties, and maintains one phase, either solid, liquid, or gas, It is homogeneous. Homo means the same. You also learn that when different parts of the mixture can be identified, it is heterogeneous mixture. An example of a heterogeneous mixture is a glass of water with ice cubes. Two phases can be identified: the solid phase, the ice cubes, and the liquid phase, water. When the ice cubes are all melted, only the liquid phase was observed. It is now homogeneous. Homogeneous mixtures are called solutions. A solution is composed of two or more components in which the particle is so small that an unaided eye cannot see it. Solutions have two components. One is solvent, and the other one is the solute. The component that dissolves the other component is called the solvent. Generally, the component in greater amount is the solvent. For example, water is a solvent that dissolves solid substances like sugar, while the solute is the component of the solution that dissolves the solvent. It is the component of the solution with a lesser amount. For example, sugar is a solute that dissolves in water. So that we will know if you understood the discussion, let us have this activity. It is called Where Do I Belong? Identify each substances, whether it is homogeneous or heterogeneous mixture. On your paper, write homo for homogeneous mixture and hetero for heterogeneous mixture. Ready? Let's go! Number 1. Gelatin. Is it a homogeneous mixture or a heterogeneous mixture? Are you done? The answer is correct. Homogeneous mixture. Number 2. A glass of milk. Is it a homogeneous mixture or a heterogeneous mixture? What's your answer? Correct. Homogeneous mixture. Number 3. Different kinds of candies. Is it homogeneous mixture or heterogeneous mixture? What's your answer? Correct. Heterogeneous mixture. Number 4. A cup of coffee. Is it a homogeneous mixture or a heterogeneous mixture? Correct. A homogeneous mixture. Number 5. A bowl of vegetable salad using 5 different kinds of vegetables. Is it a homogeneous mixture or a heterogeneous mixture? What's your answer? Correct. It is a heterogeneous mixture. Good job! Now that you can identify what is a homogeneous mixture and a heterogeneous mixture, we can now proceed to another activity. To further understand the lesson, let us perform activity number 2, finding solutions at home. Please have your notes and pen ready as I give the instructions. List down at least 5 everyday products or solutions found at home or in stores. Make a table and divide it into 2 columns. Fill in the first column with the name of the product you can find at home or in a store. On the second column, describe the characteristics of each product or solution. You may use the following guide questions in filling up the table. Describe each product's characteristics in terms of color, appearance, odor, feel, taste, and the number of faces. And finally, you describe it as either homogeneous or heterogeneous mixture. I will give you 1 minute to answer column number 1 and another minute to answer column number 2. And the timer starts now.
The game begins in 3, 2, 1.
The Radyo Z-eskwela program of the Division of Davao de Oro is being brought to you by Nueda Builders Construction and Supply Incorporated, Maverick Builders Incorporated, Mitch Construction and Supply, Archicons Architectural Construction and Supply, DB Construction and Supply, Hanaway Builders Corporation, Phoenix Corvada Tagum Gasoline Station, Master Construction and Supplies, Mackenzie Builders, GP&H Construction Incorporated, Metro Gear Construction Corporation, NEN Builders and Development Services Corporation, Max Mays Enterprises Incorporated, We Inc. Construction Company, Rangay Construction and Supply, East Sussex Enterprise, WM Construction, Councilor Boogie and Miss Marjorie Vertodazo, Icon Builders and Supply, and Apex Mining Company Incorporated.
Have you filled in column number 1? Have you listed 5 products that you have found at home or in stores? Very good. This time, I will give you 1 minute to answer the characteristics of each product in column number 2. The timer starts now.
T-1 minute.
Radyo Z-eskwela Executive Committee, the Schools Division Superintendent, Eufemia T. Gamutin Seso 5, Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Romel R. Handayan, OIC Curriculum Implementation Division Chief, Karina S. Frasco, School Governance and Operations Division Chief, Dr. Ruben J. Riponte. Members: Cecilia Morales, Dr. Hilda A. Opeña, Dr. Arlene B. Lim, Dr. Eldecris B. Calzadora, Dr. Dexter A. Siquinia, Nohara O. Pinute, Noemi P. Canales, Dr. Grace D. Pontillas, Virgilito C. Pabrices, Juanito Lapiceros, Engineer Norberto S. Manlangi, Jomar M. Dumupoy, Bob Dalan S. Milabat, Medard T. Ampit, and Paz Eugenia Villusino.
Are you done? No? Okay, then I will give you another 30 seconds to finish column number 2. answer this guide question. As you observe, each product was described in terms of color and appearance, odor, feel, taste, and number of phases. Which of these products are considered solutions? Alright kids, now that you are familiar with how to describe the characteristics and appearance of a solution, let us perform activity number 3 and find out the evidence that a solution is saturated. For this simple experiment, you will need to set up the different materials that I told you to prepare a while ago. The materials are 6 teaspoons of sugar, 1 cup of water, 1 measuring cup, 1 measuring spoon, 2 small clear transparent bottle, and 2 stirrers or spoon. Please remember, class, that you need to be very careful. Use carefully the following laboratory instruments or kitchen materials to avoid damage and accident during the conduct of the activity. Are you all set up? Okay, let us now start with the procedure. Procedure number 1. Put 20 ml, approximately 2 tablespoons of water in a glass. Then add 1/2 teaspoon of sugar and stir. Question number 1. What is the appearance of the sugar water solution? Write your observation. Next, to the sugar water solution in step 1, add 1/2 teaspoon of sugar, a small portion at a time, and stir to dissolve the sugar. At this point, you have added 1 teaspoon sugar to your sugar water solution. After all the sugar has dissolved, add another 1/2 teaspoon of sugar to the solution and stir the solution. At this point, you have added 1 and 1/2 teaspoons of sugar to the solution. Continue adding 1/2 teaspoon to the same cup until the added sugar no longer dissolves. Question number 2. How many teaspoons of sugar have you added until the sugar no longer dissolves? Correct! 2 teaspoons. In this step, you will observe that there is already excess sugar which did not dissolve. Question number 3. How many teaspoons of sugar dissolved entirely in 20 ml of water? 1 and 1/2 teaspoons. Very good. This is now the maximum amount of sugar that will completely dissolve in 20 ml of water. Now, you can observe that sugar no longer dissolves because it has reached its saturation point. Well done, class! You have completed our experiment. Very good! This time, let us take a break for some announcements. And we are back, class. Let us now discuss what is saturation point. Saturation point is the point beyond which the substance no longer dissolves in the solution. The presence of excess solid, which can no longer dissolve, is evidence that the solution is saturated thus becoming supersaturated. Now, is there a way by which we can dissolve the excess sugar which is settled at the bottom of the glass? Any idea? Let's heat the solution and see what happens. Notice that the excess sugar settled at the bottom of the beaker starts dissolving. Therefore, we can say that heating a saturated solution makes it unsaturated, and hence, larger amount of a substance can be dissolved in a saturated solution by heating. In this activity, you observe that the appearance of solution containing less amount of solute was clear or transparent. When sugar is dissolved in water, the particles of sugar gets between the spaces of the particles of water and creates a single-phase solution. However, when you slowly add more sugar into a solution and stir it, you will observe that the solution reaches the point at which it cannot dissolve more solute, and the sugar you add sinks to the bottom in solid form. You have observed a maximum amount of solute like sugar that can be dissolved in a given amount of solvent like water. The process that took place between sugar and water is called the solubility of the solute. The solution that contains the maximum amount of solute dissolved by a given amount of solvent is called a saturated solution. The presence of an excess solid, which can no longer dissolve, is evidence that the solution is saturated. A solution is unsaturated when it contains less solute than the maximum amount it can dissolve at a given temperature.
The Radyo Z-eskwela program of the Division of Davao de Oro is being brought to you by Nueda Builders Construction and Supply Incorporated, Maverick Builders Incorporated, Mitch Construction and Supply, Archicons Architectural Construction and Supply, DB Construction and Supply, Hanaway Builders Corporation, Phoenix Corvada Tagum Gasoline Station, Master Construction and Supplies, Mackenzie Builders, GP&H Construction Incorporated, Metro Gear Construction Corporation, NEN Builders and Development Services Corporation, Max Mays Enterprises Incorporated, We Inc. Construction Company, Rangay Construction and Supply, East Sussex Enterprise, WM Construction, Councilor Boogie and Miss Marjorie Vertodazo, Icon Builders and Supply, and Apex Mining Company Incorporated.
Now, let us do a recap. A saturated solution is a solution that contains the maximum amount of solute that a solvent can dissolve. The presence of excess solute, which can no longer be dissolved, is an evidence that a solution is saturated. A solution is unsaturated when it contains less solute than the maximum amount it can dissolve in a given temperature. Now we will answer the following questions. Check the assessment part of Lesson 1 in your module. Read each item carefully. Choose the letter of the correct answer for each question using a separate sheet for your answers. Number 1. You are given a 40 ml solution in a beaker. You added solute to the beaker, and you have observed some particles did not dissolve. What solution is this? A. Saturated, B. Unsaturated, C. Concentrated, D. Supersaturated. Number 2. What do you call a substance that dissolves in another substance, which is in greater amount? A. Solute. B. Solvent. C. Solute and solvent. D. Neither solute and solvent. Number 3. What do you call a substance to dissolve in any solution? A. Solute. B. Solvent. C. Solute and solvent. D. Neither solute and solvent. Number 4. What can you do if you add more sugar to a cup of your hot milk and taste very sweet? A. Add water. B. Add sugar. C. Mix the milk solution well. D. Put it in the refrigerator for an hour. Number 5. When is a solution saturated? A. Crystals form. B. You need to stir it more. C. No additional material will dissolve in it. D. Two materials have combined to create a clear liquid. Number 6. How will you prepare an unsaturated solution? A. Freeze the mixture. B. Stir the powder in the liquid. C. Add less amount of powder to the liquid. D. Add more amount of solute in a lower amount of solvent. Number 7. To make a solute dissolve more quickly in a solvent, which would you do? A. Stir it. B. Do not stir the solution. C. Let the solute settle down. D. Nothing to do with the solute. Number 8. How will you define solubility? A. Lack of polarity of molecules. B. Amount of polarity of molecules. C. Ability of a solvent to dissolve in a solute. D. Ability of a solute to dissolve in a solvent. Number 9. Which refers to a greater amount needed in dissolving a substance in a solution? A. Solute. B. Solvent. C. Solution. D. Hydration. Number 10. Which of these factors will cause more sugar to dissolve in a saturated sugar solution? 1. Add more sugar while stirring. 2. Add more sugar and heat the solution. 3. Add more sugar to the heated solution. 4. Add more sugar and cool down the solution. A. 1, 2, and 3 only. B. 1 and 2 only. C. 2 and 3 only. D. 1, 3, 4 only. Record your answers for this session so that your science teacher can check the activities and assessments that you have done. A big clap, class, for another lesson learned in science. Thank you for hanging out with me today as we get to have so much fun and discovery. Remember, there is no lesser learning when we have ample time for more explorations. Dig ideas to expand our knowledge and see the wonderful world of science. This is Teacher Rosaly A. Alcoser, the lesson presenter from Nabuntura National Comprehensive High School,
with my content developer, Bonnie Jean P. Bernadas, of Attorney Orlando S. Rimando National High School.
Thank you so much for listening this morning. Until our next meeting, class, good day and God bless.
Radyo Z-eskwela Executive Committee. The Schools Division Superintendent, Eufemia T. Gamutin, Seso 5. Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Romel R. Handayan. OIC Curriculum Implementation Division Chief, Karina S. Frasco. School Governance and Operations Division Chief, Dr. Ruben J. Riponte. Members: Cecilia Morales, Dr. Hilda A. Opeña, Dr. Arlene B. Lim, Dr. Eldecris B. Calzadora, Dr. Dexter A. Siquinia, Nohara O. Pinute, Noemi P. Canales, Dr. Grace D. Pontillas, Virgilito C. Pabrices, Juanito Lapiceros, Engineer Norberto S. Manlangit, Jomar M. Dumupoy, Bob Dalan S. Milabat, Medard T. Ampit, and Paz Eugenia Villusino. Technical Working Committee, Productions and Communications, Lorely E. Quijano, Given G. Hinampas, Judyland T. Yu, Donna D. T. Bolifer, Mary Rose N. Resma, Riwen Manuel, Irene Lea C. Manguhon, and Bessie Aya N. Banias. Social Media and Packaging Team, Christian Anhara L. Martesio, William R. Ranara, Joan T. Iscoton, Roberto S. Alcoser Jr., May B. Istaniol, Richard H. Arellano, Glee L. S. Blanco, Ralph A. Tabanyag, Angelo Gutierrez Jr., and Jade Karen Araiz.